The market doesn't know what keeps you up at night. It doesn't know when you want to retire, and it doesn't know how old you are. The simple truth is, the market doesn't care. But if you care, you've tuned into the right place. You're listening to Investor Resources, bringing clarity to the confusing world of finance. Here are your hosts of Investor Resources, Don Creech and Perry Sykes.
I'm Don Creech.
And I'm Perry Sykes. Welcome to the Investor Resources podcast.
So if you've listened to the news at all over the last couple of years, even if you didn't understand what it was, you heard crypto was the future. Even if it's not in your future, there's various ways that it has shown up. And it certainly has dominated the news for some time, since the largest crypto operation turned out to be a Madoff operation, a complete fraud.
No kidding. Absolutely a Madoff operation, really high level, really well orchestrated. Plus, Sam Bankman-Fried, he had all these celebrities, sports stars, everybody was in his corner backing what he was doing. And so this was the can't miss opportunity of a lifetime. There's just no reason you shouldn't be doing this. And the only mistake you could make is not hurrying up and getting your money over here pronto. Boy, did that turn out to be not true.
That was pretty much Madoff's deal, except he was saying, well, I don't know if I'm going to take your money. He was playing hard to get. And,
Madoff was a slow burn. Yeah, that was a slow burn. We're going to make it 8% a year, no matter what, good or bad. SBF over there decided to say, we're making a fortune, every Thursday. It's just we're making money hand over fist. We don't know what to do with all the money we're making. You're really missing out. And that was one of the primary draws. And in fact, it may have been better that nobody really understood crypto. Nobody could ask any hard questions about, wait a minute, how does this work? Because nobody really understood what crypto was anyway. And why is there any value in this? And what is it used for? And it turned out all of that was working in his favor, because he could tell virtually any story he wanted and still attract capital. And that's what he did for as long as he could anyway, till the house of cards collapsed.
Yeah, so he actually did have a plan for the money. It just wasn't in the crypto business.
Wasn't in the crypto business. No, most of it. I mean, there was so much money that went into their firm. They were spending it as fast as it could come in on other things, including political donations and donations to themselves. Of course, they were highest on the contribution list, and it ended up that they were even outspending the crazy claims they were making, and they were attracting capital at a very rapid pace, but they couldn't keep up with their own spending. And that's what happens with fraud. Like they say, fraud generally collapses under its own weight. And boy, did it happen to them in a big way. And when it went quickly.
Well, there was always some sort of tease of legitimacy, because right along with the development of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency phenomenon, the mania, central banks are developing digital currencies. So the
Correct.
Crypto and digital banks coming from the government, I mean, it all looks like this is the future, and it may well be, but in this case, the application of these privately created web presence, because that's really all. They didn't own anything. What was there
Correct.
to own? It was, I have a digital key to unlock my money, which I better not forget, because otherwise it's gone forever.
If you lose your digital wallet, there's no one to recover it for you. And that was one of their problems. Silicon Valley really did envision crypto as the next big store of wealth. This was going to be their next big jump forward in all of their fortunes. They were going to replace gold. They were going to be this internationally recognized currency, or at least a store of value that everyone could use. You could send it across borders without restriction. No one was going to have a handle on it. It was going to be their own private, high-end store of value that they could manipulate and keep everybody else's hands off of it, including all other governments and all central banks. But what you just said earlier, Don, it was worth nothing. This is a digital currency with no intrinsic value whatsoever. There was no there, as they say. They could take all the money in they wanted, but you can go sell gold and get something back for it. Cryptocurrency is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it today. There is no intrinsic value whatsoever. You can't make anything out of it. There is no industrial use. It's just a belief system that someone else is going to take this for exchange for value, kind of like the US dollar, right? That paper dollar, there's no intrinsic value there, but it's backed by the full force and goodwill of the US government. Crypto's backed by
and the
nothing.
taxing policy.
And the taxing policy. There's the real driver of the wealth. There's real money behind it. There's nothing behind crypto, nothing at all. And that that eventually became a problem with attracting more dollars.
So all of this is really showing up in the trial that's going on now, as they bring in jurors, one of whom told the judge he didn't think he understood this crypto world. And the judge's response was, don't worry about it. Nobody else here does either. So
get in line. We don't get it either. You don't get to go home, have a seat. You're going to get to hear this trial. And like I said, that was part of the allure of Sam Bankman-Fried's whole spiel was, I've got this crypto thing figured out. I understand you don't, but I've got it. I understand exactly how to make a fortune with this, and we're gonna. So you should send me your money right now. And that was the dream. That was the dream. That's how they were going to make their fortune, but with no intrinsic value. No matter how much the promoters insisted, no, there's so many people using this. There's so much money behind it. It really does have intrinsic value now. There were plenty of NFL players that would get a $30-40 million contract and make sure half of it was delivered in cryptocurrency because it only goes up. It's the future. And then they lost half their contract because all of a sudden, it was worth thousands of dollars per crypto, and now it's worth 18 cents per crypto, depending on which one you bought. So they really got hammered by it, and it's backed by no one. So there's nobody to turn to. There's nobody to ask to regulate it. There's nobody to ask, how can all that value disappear? It's like that value is just a matter of opinion to begin with. And once that became clear, then the red flags really started going up. Okay, we need to really play this game with a lot of caution because there is no safety net here. There is no one looking after it. This is the wild, wild west for sure. There is no government crypto agency to say, that really wasn't fair. That shouldn't have happened. Let's go back and make all the investors whole, which the SEC will do for investors in registered investment vehicles. There's nothing in crypto. You're on your own.
You are on your own. It is a deep hole. There are a lot of reasons for crypto's fall, but you just pointed out part of that. And it didn't matter what country they operated in, except they couldn't operate and create this stuff in the United States easily because it was not regulated. And the SEC wouldn't authorize exchange traded funds or mutual funds doing crypto. Right. This has always been it's a derivative product basically. So we're using some sort of other way to get access to these products or to crypto in a United States market. And at the tail end of this stuff, that's when the skeptics like pension administrators finally cave into their members' pressure. Well, we could have made so much money in crypto. I could have retired by now if you just would have let me invest in it. And
what are you doing?
Yes. Start easing the investment criteria and they make it available. Kaboom! It blows up, and that's where a lot of them are today. But you look at smaller jurisdictions. You've got small countries like El Salvador, even the city like Miami tried to promote themselves as a center for crypto enthusiasts. But they've learned the hard way that for the most part, citizens are not interested in this. They want something real. And even though you pointed out the US dollar is fiat, it is backed up by the guarantee of the United States government to weed out con men and to provide the tax revenue to make the dollar worth something, even though right now they are inflating its value, depreciating its value through inflation.
But there's
But
a system
mainstream,
behind it that will uphold that dollar and make sure that that's why it's the global reserve currency right now. Everyone understands if you are holding dollars, you will be made whole. And they didn't really understand that regardless of what everybody said was going on in crypto and that it was more and more being used as a currency, which it never was and still isn't today. They said in 2021, global money transfers, crypto is about 1%. That's a fringe asset at best. It's 1%. And so it's not being used as a currency because no one really understands it. And if you've got it and you're trying to send it to someone else, the other person doesn't get it. They're like, why don't you just send me some dollars? I can use those and I understand those. And there's no one to stand behind that crypto. There's nobody out there saying, well, crypto, no matter what, is going to retain its value at a predictable level. It's completely variable. It's going to be worth whatever it's going to be worth today based on the whims of the global buying and selling of whatever currency you're in. And the thinner it's traded, the more radical those changes can be day to day. But no matter whether there are a lot of people holding it or nobody holding it, there's no one standing behind it. There's no central banks. There's no countries. There's no global economy. There's nothing standing behind it. And once people really got that in their head, that's when crypto really it started. I don't even care how much you can make. You can lose it all the next day, and there's nothing you can do about it. And like you said earlier, Don, that's not even considering the amount of fraud that's out there in it, which the current trial is really pointing out. Or if you just happen to misplace your key and you can't get back into your digital wallet, there's no one to unlock that for you. That money's just gone. Or if it's on a thumb drive and you lose it, all these things have happened. It's just gone, and there's no recourse. There's nothing you can do. If somebody hacks your wallet and steals it, there's nobody to go out there and say, well, we should get that back for you. Unless it's part of some government program, there's no one that's going to even be on your side. You made a bet and you lost, and that's it.
I'm chuckling because if you have that problem and you want to call and ask some technician online to help unwind your account so you can get back into it. My
Right.
wife just recently had an alert that somebody was trying to charge on one of her credit cards, which
Ah,
she had a zero balance and she knows is paid off and there shouldn't be anything, no activity whatsoever on that card. So
right.
she spent an hour and 45 minutes with one person after another, and
Right.
I took her dinner down to her desk so she could stay online. I said, ask for a supervisor, then ask for that supervisor. And finally, after about an hour 45, the last supervisor said, we've tried so often that the whole thing is just locked out. There's nothing we can do. Well, with crypto, if you got a problem on your account, there's nobody to call. I mean,
Nobody to
that's
call.
just it. I mean, even under the pressure of retail and consumers, businesses have said, well, we'll sell you something with crypto. Venmo is a company that
Sure.
allows crypto. They're owned by PayPal. But if they were really doing business in crypto, you would think that they would brag about it. But
Right.
they don't publish any numbers regarding the volume of
No.
activity that's going on in crypto. So the
Yeah.
dreamers are losing at this point of the game. And it looks like FTX Miracle Maker has lost also.
Well, and that's the important thing. That's one of the reasons we're talking about this on this podcast is that so many people feel like they missed out on crypto. That's something they should have been behind. We missed the wave, and there's so much risk involved that it's just not worth the trip. We've never had crypto in our portfolios because there are no regulations. It's completely unregulated. Bankman-Fried is going to go to jail just for good old-fashioned fraud. It's so unregulated that you can do this thing. It's just three-card Monte. That's all he was doing. I mean, it's just as easy as can be just to create fraud, and there's no one out there to come back and try to save you. And it's just like what happened in the gold rush. Most of the people that got in it and went to look for the gold were broke. They didn't make any money. And a few of the people that sold picks and shovels, they made money. But the people who are actually out there dealing, trying to look for the gold, trying to dig a mine, trying to stake a claim, They didn't do anything at all. So if you have a platform where people will pay you to store their crypto, you might have a chance to make some money long term. If you're just speculating in crypto, it's pure speculation, and it could just vaporize in a day, just because no one agrees with what you think the value should be, and all of a sudden it's gone. And so, it's buyer beware, and it doesn't matter how many people, famous or not, have money in crypto and tell you that it's a good idea. It's really not a good idea. It's pure speculation and nothing more.
If you don't know how it works, can't find education online to understand how it works, which you can
Right.
with the stock market, you can with real estate, you can
Yep.
with gold, you can with currencies, and all of those are regulated. There is somebody standing behind you as an investor that
Right.
kind of has your back. I mean, it's not a guarantee that you're not going to lose money if you make a bad decision or bad timing, but at least the fraud issue is minimized, and because
Correct.
you can do your own homework. If you don't want to do your homework, you can hire somebody to do the hard work for you, but even they, in our world, are licensed, regulated, subject to audit to see that they're not con men.
Correct.
So, as you said a moment ago, it's buyer beware in the crypto business, and it used to be buyer beware in the stock market. If you go back into the teens and the 20s,
Sure.
before there was any real regulation,
Yep.
but it's a different world. Crypto is just simply one more opportunity for con men around the world to make an extra buck off of somebody else's work.
Absolutely.
You want more information about what we do? Send us an email, help@iriradio.com, or give us a call. Phone number's on the screen. Have a great day, but for today, that's a wrap.